Hello, hello, Sanibonani, beautiful people. Sanibonani, how are you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And some of you who are watching from bed while pretending to be working, I see you, but your secret is safe with me. Ninjani, Sanibonani, beautiful people. Welcome to Breakfast Show Yantambama, the only breakfast show where it might already be past dinner time for you, because it is breakfast somewhere and it is ntambama somewhere else. So do let us know where you are watching from. Happy Business Wednesday. Every business we come here, not every business, every Wednesday we come here and we talk all things business. We talk about business, we talk about money, entrepreneurship, tenderpreneurship, complicated journey of trying to make it, especially for the diasporians. As you join us, please let us know where you are joining us from. Drop a flag or just an interesting fact about where you are watching us from. Please do that for us. Welcome to Breakfast Show Yantambama, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's talk about making profits. Because these days I've noticed everyone has a business one way or another. Everyone is either a business person, a tenderpreneur, an influencer, but everybody has one business or the other. But what we never talk about is the complicated journey of making the profits, the complicated journey of trying to make a profit while your family thinks your business is a charity registered with their surname. So how do you navigate that? How do you make sure that you are not just a business by name, but you are actually making a profit? And if you are joining us live, welcome, welcome, welcome. You please don't forget to tell us where you're watching from. Drop a flag, drop a fact about where you are watching us from. And this show is a show that goes through different topics. Monday to Friday, we have different topics. On each day of the week, we talk about different subjects. And today's subject is, so your business is busy, you are a business person, but where is the money? You have customers, you are busy, your phone is ringing, you have inventories, you are doing things that keep you busy, you are attending every conference, but where is the money? You are advertising every day. Sometimes the orders are even coming, but where is the money? Because being a business person does not automatically mean you are making a profit. It does not automatically mean you are understanding how to make money. Some of you have not sat down since Easter Sunday. You've been on full working mode. Your WhatsApp status says fully booked. I say it a lot with performers, comedians, where they will post a list of their bookings. And you're like, wow, this person is already fully booked for the year. But being fully booked for the year does not necessarily mean you are making money. Some of the busiest people are the most broke people. When rent is due, you are looking under the sofa cushions for some extra coins. but you were performing, you had 4 shows at the weekend. Where is the money? Your social media has 2,473 photos and videos. You call yourself an influencer. You're buying new clothes every day. You're paying for hair and makeup because you have to appear a certain way, because you are the influencer win. But where is the money? You are a hairstylist. You braided 6 people just this past weekend alone. But where is the money? You did 2 events, 1 deliverable and 1 emergency order. But you are still broke. Because we must not confuse being busy and making money. Having a business does not automatically mean you are understanding money. Too many of our people are very busy but very broke. That's why we end up having to collect and donate for our beloved celebrities, because they are busy, they are on TV, we see them here, we see them there. But where is the money? You can see someone, like there's a video I recently saw on one, I think the lady, please do go and watch her videos if you haven't on YouTube. She does videos of rural developments in South Africa. Her name is Velile. She used to live in the States, and then she came back to South Africa to build a house in the village. So she goes around in rural development. I've seen so many beautiful houses, but there's one in particular that really inspired me, of this girl who works in one of the bottle stores, and I think she works at Tops. She built a beautiful home from the money she saved. And then you have people who look at her salary and think of it as a price of a perfume, but they have nothing. Where is the money? You have people who are telling you they earn a little, they're not earning a lot because it's only 15,000 per call. And some people who are earning 5,000 per month are able to achieve so much, are able to build. Some people with the busiest businesses, the next thing you see, a business has been shut down. How about this place was so busy? Yes, it's busy, but where is the money? Your Instagram page is full of motivational quotes. Your packaging has ribbons, but your bank account is saying, Madam, I have never met this successful business you keep talking about. You are buying a new outfit every day when you have to sit down in front of a camera to do a live, a simple live like the one I'm doing. But now you must wear something brand new, designer. You need to have a professional makeup artist before you record, before you play live. Because now you are an influencer. But where is the money? That's one topic we are scared of talking about, even in our families, even with our own children, with our own spouses. Have you ever sat with your spouse and found out how much they have, how much they owe? What do they need to pay? What have they decided they are not going to pay back? Imagine marrying someone who doesn't care for owning a house, who's made so much debt that they know in their lifetime they will never be able to get a bond or a mortgage. And when not, because you think it's taboo to discuss money, you are not asking them. Do you even know your partner's credit score? Some of you are already planning a wedding with someone whose credit score you've never checked, you've never discussed. You just know my partner is a business person. Being a business person does not mean you are making money. You just say, my partner is in corporate. In corporate, making how much? Maybe they're in corporate, but they're surviving on credit cards. Maybe the mama selling food in the street corner, or there by the street corner, is financially in a better position than your corporate boo. We need to talk about the difference between sales and profit. Underpricing, giving people too much credit, family discounts, mixing personal money with business money. A lot of us avoid the topic of money, so much so that some of you don't know how much your partners are earning. You've never seen your partner's pay slip. You don't know what percentage of their salary goes to debts that he will be paying for the rest of his life or her life. Why are we so scared to talk about money? We know so many people who've opened catering businesses, and the only people who ate their food are their friends. I know too many people who are busy, but money, dololo. I know too many people in my industry who quit their jobs too soon. One TV appearance, they resign from CNA. They resign from being a teacher. Next thing, they're asking for donations. Where is the money? One tender, you win one tender. Next thing, you are moving out to live in the suburbs. Now you are renting 35,000 rands a month. Now you're buying the latest Mercedes because we don't understand profits. We don't understand how to make a business profitable. We don't understand that making a profit requires you to be slightly less nice. Some of us are too nice for business. Don't need to be wicked. You don't need to be cruel. Just less available for nonsense. Because some of us did not start businesses. We started community support programs with free deliveries. People in the diaspora, people who live abroad, where is the money? You are staying 3 continents away from your family. Some of you away from your kids, your sick parents, because you say money is better. But where is the money? Why is someone who's working in your local supermarket back home achieving better? Why are they able to buy property for their children, able to create generational wealth? While you are sitting in another continent just accumulating debt. Just because you earn the money doesn't mean you have the money. Have you ever looked at how many subscriptions do you have? Write down a list of, because those 10 pounds, those 15 rands, they accumulate. You have Netflix, you have Showmax, you have Amazon Prime. Some months you don't even watch any of them. You have subscriptions, Canva, Netflix, this, that. Do you use it? Is it worth it? Why do you have 4 phone contracts? Every time a new phone comes, a lot of you are already waiting and anticipating the new iPhone that's going to come out in September. Meanwhile, you haven't even finished paying for the one you have. Why are you paying for a phone like you are paying for a mortgage? I was literally asking a friend of mine the same question. Her and her 2 children have iPhones. She's a single mom. They have iPhones, the latest ones. I think they have 17 Pro or whatever the latest one is. I kid you not. She lives in a rented property, rented apartment, because she says she cannot afford mortgage. She cannot afford to take a bond. Her and her children, well, obviously she pays because they're still in high school. She pays about £235 for phones, just for phones. And they have Wi-Fi at home, so I don't know why they need unlimited when they have free Wi-Fi at home. And I was telling her, I even opened some of the apps, some of the housing websites. I was like, look, that money could be mortgage money, because that's like 5,000 rands. You could be paying it towards a mortgage. What do you mean someone who earns 5,000 rands a month owns a property? When you spend 5,000 rands a month just paying for phones and you don't own anything? If something happens to you today, if you are not to wake up, your children do not have a home, yet someone who earns 5,000 rands a month. So we need to ask ourselves, where is the money? Especially with business people, because business takes courage. Self-employment takes courage. Because you don't have, I guess my hair though, my hair is nice. And if you have not yet subscribed, please do not forget to subscribe. Subscription is free. Mahala, welcome to Breakfast Show Yantambama. We are talking about starting a business. Starting a business takes courage. Keeping it alive takes discipline. And making it profitable sometimes requires you to become slightly less nice, guys. I don't know how many times I need to say this. Getting a good paying job takes hard work, takes courage. You often have to get education, get a skill, work your way up. But keeping the money is a whole different thing. Keeping the money. Now that's something different. We need to understand that sales are not profits. Salary does not mean you're taking everything home. I know so many people who take less than 50% of what they earn home because of what they already earn. I was in that position myself at some point where I was in so much overdraft. And the thing is, the banks are very smart. They will never make you feel like you are broke. I didn't feel I was broke. I look back now that I understand finances better, and I understand how broke I was. Because I had overdraft. There was a time where I had like 200,000 rands overdraft. I had credit cards. So I was never broke because I always had access to money. People would say, oh, can you help me with 1,000 rand? I will take it and give it to them because I had access to money. But that was never my money. That was an overdraft. And each time you give them 1,000 rand, you're going to pay back 1,340. I had store cards. I'd go to Woolworths and swipe. But why are you swiping? I still have some cards, but they're a topic for another day. And that's just for my credit score, because the system is made so that you need to owe something in order to be seen as responsible. And for traveling, for car rentals, for many other things, and for emergencies. You still need to have like a credit card, but you need extra discipline. Extra discipline. I used to always have access to money. I was never broke. But I look back now, I realize how broke I was. My salary will come in and it will go just directly to paying the overdraft and the credit card. And the new month will start. Same pattern every month, same thing. I would go out to eat out with my friends with overdraft money, with credit card money. So I was making money, but where was the money? Sales are not profits. That's what we need to talk about. The money coming into your hands does not automatically belong to you. Just because it's arrived in your account doesn't mean it belongs to you. Have you guys sat down with your partners? I know people who don't know how much their husbands earn. I know people who don't know how much their fiance earns. I know people who don't know how much they earn. Some know how much they earn, but they don't even know what is left afterwards. If you were to give them their pay slip and say, explain what is this money, explain where this money goes. And so many of us, especially in the Black community, hide topics about money. We hide things about money. So many of your parents died with very good life insurances, but they hid it. They never told anyone. It's unclaimed. It's out there unclaimed. Do your children know who you insured with? Burial society. That does not leave your family with any sort of wealth. Yes, it helps to make the process easier. But do you have a life cover? Do you know the percentages of how much from your salary you should really be paying for rent? Imagine you don't own a house, but there's a shop, a clothing shop, that takes 20% of your salary every month because when at some point you decided you want these jeans. I've seen people swipe credit cards for milk at Woolworths. Milk for a birthday cake. Imagine buying a birthday cake, creating a debt for a birthday. The money you earn does not automatically belong to you. Some of it belongs to the landlord. Some of it stays in the bank. It never leaves the bank because you already owe the bank so much money. Some of it belongs to transport. Some of it belongs to electricity. Some of it belongs to tax. Some belongs to replacing equipment. So do you really know how much you make? Where is the money? Have you ever thought you don't make enough to have one job? Have you ever thought you need a second job? I remember when I was in law school, I had this lecturer. She was our land law lecturer. And then one afternoon, I'm out with my friends. I'm like, oh, this lady looks so much like so and so, who's my lecturer. I'm like, oh my word, they must be related. They look so much. This lady was serving in a pub. And then eventually she sees me, we lock eyes. That recognition face of, I know you, is it you? Yes, it's me. What are you doing here? I mean, you are a lecturer. What are you doing working in a pub? And she was like, I do 2 days a week here. I come for 2 afternoons after school. I come and work here. This is my holiday money. Imagine if a lecturer at a university in London can have a second job. Who are you having one job with a minimum wage? I know people who have a second job. I actually knew a doctor friend of ours. He was a doctor, the wife was a teacher. They had a second job cleaning a block of offices. And they said that money was what was paying for their luxury cars. They would go for 2 hours in the evening, clean the luxury offices. And they said, oh, that's for our cars. Do you know how much you are earning? How much you are left with? If there's anything left after your landlord, your tax, your electricity company, your phone company, your hairstylist, your supermarket, and all those things you cannot escape spending on. When they've taken their share from your money, do you know how much you are left with? For example, you are paying, let's say you sell birthday cakes, you make birthday cakes and you sell them. Beautiful, nice job, you are busy. Each cake is £100 or about 2,400 francs, depending on where you are watching from. The customer pays you 100 francs, £100 or 2,400 francs. You do not have £100 profit. You bought your flour, you bought your eggs, you bought icing, and you needed transport to go and buy all those things. You used electricity. Take that money out and then now see how much you still have. With your salary, you say, I earn 10,000 rands a month. If you have to pay for transport to get to work, you don't earn 10,000 minus that money, because that's an overhead. If your work requires you to buy new clothes every month, minus that. If you have to eat and spend 5 rands every day at work to eat, minus that. This is not even part of your personal spending, like your rent and other things that you would need without your job anyway. These are things that you need in order to be able to have that job. Minus that, then you will know how much you earn. If you have a home, but because your work is away from home, you have to pay rent somewhere else, minus that. Because if it wasn't for that job, you wouldn't be paying rent. So that's like someone who has a business and they're paying rent for their business to operate. Minus that, then you will know how much you earn. Traveling to go to work is the same as someone traveling to Boko and buy stock for their business. If you have to hire a maid or a nanny because of your job, minus that, then you will know how much you earn. Next time you will know how to negotiate your salary. Because so many people think they earn a lot of money and they don't. Because I may be earning 10,000 rands and you are earning 20,000 rands, but you are earning your 20,000 rands in Johannesburg, where you have to pay 5,000 for rent, where you have to use 3,000 every month on transport to get to work. Mina, I live at home or live in a house I already own. I walk to work and I eat for free at work. Where now you still have to buy food every day when you are at work. Where now you have a child that needs a babysitter. So from your 20,000, you have to pay 6,000 rands for childcare. So at the end of the day, who's earning more? Same with people who count how much they earn overseas and forget the most important part. How much do you spend? Yes, we've seen how much you earn, but how much do you spend overseas? You earn this, but you spend what? If you have to pay someone to help you, because you have to be at work. Count that as money you don't have from your salary. That's why in business, even SARS or inland revenue, they take into consideration that you have to entertain clients. So if you have to spend money during work hours because you have to eat in order to continue being productive, count that. That's part of something that's part of what you should minus from your salary so that you know exactly how much you earn. Some of you think, oh, I sell cakes for £100, but really you're only selling cakes for £20. But you'll be looking at the £100 and thinking, oh, God remembered me. But from that £100, also God remembered the transport guy who transports the cake, remembered the sugar guy who sold you sugar. So is that really your money? And then you think you are bewitched. You start blaming people in your village because you are spending like you are earning 30,000 when in effect you are earning 12. It's like when you tell people who tell you, oh, I've just checked how much I qualify for to buy a house, and they said I qualify for 2 million rand, and like, but qualifying and affording are two different things. You can qualify for 2 million, but can you afford? Because they'll be looking at how much you earn. They don't really know how much you spend. If I could tell you guys how much I qualified for, hey, because they were looking at what comes in. They forgot that when it comes in, I still have people to pay. I still have production cost. I have traveling cost. I have so much to pay for. But when you look at my account, oh, it looks good. But at the end of the day, once I've paid everyone and everything, sometimes I'm left with nothing. You can look at a comedian and say, oh my God, 1,000 people paying 200 rands each. That's 200,000 in an hour. But you're not counting how much we paid for the venue, for marketing, for the crew, for the staff that's working, for other comedians. You'd find that out of that 200,000, only 7,000 comes to me. But you'll be spending like you are at 200,000 and when you are not. So we need to be very, very careful of knowing how much we make in the business, how much we earn. Where is the money? Yes, you're earning a lot, but where is it? Does it all come to you? And I always tell people, a sold-out event and a profitable event are not twins. They are two different things. Some of the most profitable events are the smallest events, where you have less overhead, you have less people to pay. I remember someone was counting for me how much I made at Edinburgh. Because they're like, you're doing so many shows every day. For a whole month, you are performing every day. This is how many people are coming. You're having sold out shows. This is how much you are charging. And I was like, but have you counted how much is rent for that month in Edinburgh? Have you ever paid £7,000 for a one-bedroom flat for a month? Have you counted PR, marketing? Have you counted how much I paid at the venue? Have you counted? And once I counted how much overheads you need to even have a successful show, they were so shocked. But you do see people spending what they make and forgetting to minus what they lose. Content creators, so many of them overspending, even taking brands that are not sponsoring them. Because some of our so-called influencers, they just are influencing themselves. You need to remember that revenue is the money that comes in. Expenses are the money required to make the sale. Profit is what remains. Same thing with your salary. Not everything you earn is your profit. It's not everything you earn. Cash flow is whether you have money. And all those things are not the same. None of those things are the same. If you complete a contract of 50,000 rands, but the client will pay you in 60 days, on paper, your business has earned 50,000. In real life, you have to pay for petrol today. You have to pay for the phone calls. That way, the lawyer will charge you even for the paper they use to send you a letter. They will charge you for the ink on the printer they use to print a letter they are sending to you. You receive a phone call from your lawyer, they will charge you because it's not going to be on them. When they are 500 rand an hour fee is what they charge to work, but any overhead is yours. Same in hospital. Private hospitals will charge you for the gloves that the doctor wears. They will charge you for the food that they feed you. What you're paying for the surgery has nothing to do with all these other extras. They will charge you every time someone has to come and change your bedding. Some of you don't even look at the list of things you are paying for. I remember when the first time I went to a private school, my aunt had an incident at work. So she went to one of the private schools, not private schools, private hospitals in Durban. And then we go as a family, we go to see her, and everyone is like so super nice to us. And we're like, oh, private hospitals are cool. I wish I was the one in the accident because, wow, it was so cool. They would give us food. They would give us a menu. As visitors, we're coming to visit someone who's not well. They would give us a menu. Would you like something? Would you like tea? Would you like coffee? Would you like water, room temperature or fridge? We're like, wow. Like we were literally going to see her every day because it was like going to a free hotel when she was discharged. So her workplace, her employer, had sent her to the private hospital. She didn't have medical aid. And they were going to pay, they were footing the bill for whatever procedure she needed to have. But when the bill came, Amlungu looked at the bill and said, "Mina, I send you to the hospital for this to be fixed, not for your family to have lunch every day, not for your family to be having drinks and water there every day, tea and coffee." They charged for each and everything. I don't even know. I must ask my family who ended up paying or whether they even paid. Each and everything. It was like an itemized bill. And Umlung was like, okay, gloves, I'll pay. This, I'll pay. The rest, not my bill. And then we didn't know because we don't ask. Then we thought we were just being given good food. We were very, very happy. Very, very happy. Hey, Donald, how are you? Yes. The hidden fees, guys. That's what Donald, hidden fee. Listen, you will pay. In private hospital, you pay just to open your mouth. Listen, you will pay. And I mean, I've learned from experience because I've taken jobs where I've ended up being out of pocket. For example, I remember the first Nigerian wedding I emceed. I was excited. The fee was good. It was it was not that good, but it was good. It was $1,000, and I was already in America, and I had come from something else, and it's like I will on a random Saturday afternoon, I'm gonna make an extra $1,000. I will pay. I could do with another 20,000 rands in America. I agreed, and they paid me nice. The next thing, you have to wear something that matches the couple. I think they call it, is it asobi? You have to wear this, and this is where you buy it. You have to. By the time I went to do the wedding, I was already out of pocket. By the time, hi Jack, people can see you. By the time I went to the wedding, I was broke. And then that one wedding that taught me to negotiate my terms and conditions. Terms and conditions apply. The wedding took the whole day. Usually when you do a wedding, you're just doing a reception. That's why I love why people think their events are so time conscious. You know, okay, do you want me to perform, or do you want me to MC the wedding? Okay, you perform. You know, if they say your stage time is at 8, your stage time will be at between 8 and 10 past. 10 past would be the latest. Black people think they will say your stage time is at 1 p.m. You're wasting the whole day. You'll be on stage at 9:30 in the evening. Look at how much you've lost, what you could have made. Even transport's very important to discuss transports. Who's transporting me to the venue? Even when promoters book you, because promoters will book you for a show, and then the next thing they're telling you at 6 a.m. you must go to this radio station to promote the show. Now, from the 20,000 rands you are paying me, I must hire an Uber at 5 a.m. so that I can make it to a radio station at 6 a.m. Even if it means I must put petrol in my car. So now I'm not just a performer, I'm also a PR manager. I'm not just a performer. From the little money that you're paying me, I need to pay for these other things. For so many performances, especially as a woman, especially the big performances, you need makeup. So you say you paid me 20,000 rands, but I still need 2,000 rands for hair and makeup. I need an outfit. Who's paying for the hotel? Who's paying for my transport to be there? Who's feeding me while I'm there? If you are not, so stop saying you are paying me 20,000 rands, because you are paying me 4,000 rands. Because I need to pay and do all these other things in order to make the show successful. So guys, don't be scared to talk about money. Talk about, especially in your relationships, it's very important. Ask your partner how much they earn. Check their credit score. Ask what they owe and who they owe, and how long do they still have to pay. Imagine starting a future with someone who's already had a house repossessed. Before you guys can even buy a property, you need to help him pay the 200,000 or the 2 million that he owes. Now you must live in rented accommodation for the rest of your life because you didn't ask the right questions. Ask them about their living arrangements. So you are living at home with your mom. Who's paying the bills? Who's paying the mortgage? Because some of us get excited. Some people get excited, especially in our Black community, because a lot of us are the first in our family. Everything is new. You finish high school, you go to uni, you take a loan, and you get into student debt. You're excited. You get your first professional job. You already owe Edgars and Markhams. You already owe student debts. Now you are thinking, oh, my mom, I wanted to do something good for her. I've always wanted to buy a house for your mom. You take a mortgage to pay for your mom. So when the first 20 years of your working life, you are paying a mortgage for your life. And then in 3 years, after 3 years of taking the mortgage, you meet someone, you fall in love, you want to start a future together. And when you didn't ask, you marry this person only to find out before you can even buy your own house, you have to wait 18 years for them to finish paying for their family home. Ask the money questions. Do not be afraid. Ask the money questions. Now we are married to. It is so important, Donald, before you marry someone, check their debt. Before you even date them, check their credit score. Because so many things can easily be sorted out. Sometimes things can be sorted out. People just don't know how to. Imagine being a guy going to pay lobola for this newly graduated girl, and the family is saying, she's a graduate, she has a degree. We want 200,000 rands for lobola. And then now you pay 200,000 rands only for you, after you marry her, to start receiving letters with student loans that she owes. The family made you pay more because they were saying they paid for her to get an education, only to realize that you are just marrying a liability. You're marrying someone who owes so much money for the education that you were made to pay more for. Guys, ask and go and count your money. Look at how much you earn. Look at how much you need to spend on in order for you to be able to do that job. And then you will know. Calculate the real cost. Calculate the real salary that you earn. And if you have a business, the first place money disappears is through poor pricing. Many small business owners choose prices by looking at what another person charges. You see somebody selling a cake for 600 rands. Now you are charging 550. But you don't know what ingredients do they have. You don't know what they get for free. You don't know their circumstances. You start a new job, and then you're like, oh my God, everyone that works here has a car. You buy a car. Good luck, Beyonce. Good luck, Beyonce. You don't know who has a second job. Some people don't even tell you. You don't know who comes from generational wealth. You don't know who's drowning in debt. And you could be earning 90,000 rands a month, but living on overdraft, living on credit card. I've seen people buy champagne when we go out, when I know they've just got an eviction letter because they haven't paid rent for 3 months. But they'll be out there buying champagne, drinking cocktails. They'll be out there confidently sitting in a hair salon, even making comments about my hair and how I don't want to spend on hair. Confidently paying 3,000 rands to have their hair done. Paying 1,000 rands for a haircut. When they've just received an eviction letter. Very important. Even with your friends, don't be afraid to ask. When I and my friends, we talk money. Guys, let's go to this place. My budget for this weekend is this much. If we go there, we can't go there. If we go there, I'm not able to spend more than this much. Let's buy champagne. My budget says Prosecco. My budget says a cocktail. Let's order water. I'm not buying water for £10 when I know the same bottle of water is 25 cents somewhere else. What is it that you can do to cut the spending? I pay myself, guys. So I know exactly how much I earn. And even in paying myself, I do so many things for myself that I should be getting paid for. But I just do them on voluntary basis because I can't afford to pay myself. If I can do it myself, I avoid paying for it. People say, I'm working, but I'm broke. I must be bewitched. Money just disappears. No, money doesn't disappear. Money goes exactly where it's supposed to go. You just don't know your salary. You are not cutting your cloth according to your size. You are not cutting your cloth according to your size. That is why. You don't know your direct cost. Maybe you shouldn't have taken that job in Pietermaritzburg, because look now, you're earning 8,000, you have to spend 6,000 on rent, and your transport is 1,800. What are you going to eat? How are you going to survive? Maybe stop lying to yourself about being a business person. If your partner decides to move in with you, tell them they're going to continue. Contribute. People are scared. People are scared to discuss those things. Even when you take a rental or you decide to go for a rental, people know how much rent they pay. And then you start asking them, okay, your rent is 1,000 rands. How about electricity? How about levies? How about rates? Who pays for water? Does the property come with a fridge? So you still have to pay for a fridge. Does it come with a washing machine? Are you going to have to use a laundromat? Can you hang your clothes outside? People don't ask the right questions. You must not be afraid to ask the right questions when it comes to money. People just get excited. Oh, I took a house. My mortgage is only 8,000 rands. How about your rates? How about electricity? How about security and safety? That in so many countries you have to pay extra for. How close are schools? Because are you now paying 8,000 rands for mortgage, but not having to pay 3,000 rands for your children to go to school? Maybe you should have bought that house that was a little bit more expensive in a nicer area closer to schools. Maybe you should have taken that house that was going to cost you 11,000, because you're still paying 11,000. when you count how much you have to pay for your kids to go to school. Ask the right questions. So that you, because money is it's your money. Because the debt will be yours. You need to know when you have a hobby with invoices and when you have a business. You need to know when you are actually just volunteering, but you call it having a job, having a career. People buy cars and say, I can afford to pay 5,000 rands every month. They forget there's petrol. They forget there's emergency money. They forget that you need to take it to a car wash. They forget the many other things that come with owning a car. Now you're driving a broken Skorokor. Are you adding your overheads? Do you know how much rent, how much electricity, how much for water, internet, and all other equipment, transport? Yeah, count your salary like how you count your profits. Count like you count your profits. Money behaves like food at an African wedding. If you do not reserve your portion, somebody's uncle will take it home in foil. And be honest, be honest, be honest. Like what they call family discount in business. Some of you do it with your own salaries. Some of you do family discount with your own salaries. You think everyone deserves a bit of a share. You think if I buy this for so and so, they don't have to pay me back. But you bought with your salary. Were they part of your budget? We love our families. Family is beautiful. Family supports us. Family prays for us. Family can bankrupt a small business if you are not careful. Maybe you can afford to take your children to the best schools, but you don't know how much you earn because you don't know how much you spend. You need to be familiar and to be comfortable discussing money. You need to be comfortable having money talks with your partners, finding out how much they earn, finding out of how much they earn, what do they spend on. Very, very important. It's a very, very important one. I love you guys. I wish you nothing but the best. This is the Breakfast Show Yantambama. Please don't forget to subscribe. Subscription is free. Mahala. Like the video, comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Give us tips on how do you know your money? How do you know how much profit you are making in your business? How do you know how much you really earn? How much you really earn? Not what is paid into your account, but what you earn after you've minused all the overheads. How much do you really earn? Do you know your money? Do you understand your money? Your partner, do you guys talk about money? Or is it my money is mine, yours is yours? The person you are sharing rent with, do you even know who the landlord is? Do you even know exactly how much you are paying, or when are you just being told by someone else that we got a place We're going to pay 4,000 rands each, but you've not seen anything. You've not spoken to the landlord. Every person you live with decided not to come back home one day, or for some reason something happened. Would you know where to go? Would you know? Have you checked your credit score? Have you checked your partner's credit score? Do you know exactly how much debts you have? I know people will pretend they don't like to vote, but they know their ID books are with the Mashonis. But they're pretending, this voting thing. No, you want to vote. Problem. Mashonisa. IDs with Mashonis. Love you guys. Before we end, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share the video, and do all the beautiful, wonderful things that you need to be doing to support this channel. And I love you. Breakfast Show Yantambama. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos. Subscription is free. Mahala.